Hello, hello, hello to all of my socialites and celebutants across the country. You know who I am? I am your boy Zim VanAdams, coming to you live today from Bmore, Baltimore, Maryland. I am here on the East Coast. I am. I first want to give a special shout out to all of you who have been supporting the new blog, who have been leaving comments on the new blog, who've been sending me emails and MySpace notes and Facebook notes, and even sending me messages on YouTube like complimenting me and praising me for the new blog. Special shout out to my graphic designer Greg for doing a phenomenal job working alongside me to get the new project up and running. So it's definitely been an exciting period of time. And I'm excited to be back with you guys. Years ago, 2002, I befriended a young man, and you know, he was 1 year older than me at the time, and I had just pretty much gotten into my relationship. He had already been in a relationship and had been in several, so he had like a lot of sort of advice and experience and knowledge, you know, dating and being in a long-term relationship, a close-knit relationship, one that, you know, I wasn't so familiar with. And I began to sort of spend a lot of time with him. And in doing so, I shared a lot of my life with him. I talked to him about a lot of details regarding my relationship, myself, my family, whenever I was down and out, really just dealing with a lot of issues. Even though I had a lot of my female friends and I had a lot of male associates, I sort of turned towards him. I would spend a lot of time at his house. We became extremely close, brotherly close, you know. And in so doing, you know, years went on. And a lot of times when he and I would talk and he and I would have discussions, in those discussions, and even when we weren't talking about serious topics, he always found a way to sort of talk to me and tell me things, private things, about his other friends and his other associates. I mean, things that in my mind I knew they would not want me to know, you know, because a lot of them I met through him. And, you know, he just was the type of person where everything he said and everything he did, for the most part, when I really examined it, was negative. Just very negative. He was the type of person who just always, regardless of circumstances, found a way to focus and concentrate his energy on the negative aspects of any situation, any circumstance, any experience, especially when it dealt with other people. You know, he always focused on the negative. And it didn't dawn on me until 3 years later. It didn't dawn on me that, oh, wait a minute. If he's talking to me about all the things regarding his other friends that I'm sure they wouldn't want me to know, then he's also going to them, talking to them and telling them things about me that I wouldn't want them to know. You know what I mean? So years went on, and as he and I got closer and closer, my boyfriend at the time told me, Zim, he is not your friend. And I just in my mind blocked it out like, no, you just don't like the fact that, you know, when you and I go through something, I have somebody who's right there. Or every single time, you know, you and I have a falling out and you go and do your thing, now I have somebody to really go out with who, you know, sort of began to expose me to the club scene and various other aspects. So I kind of dismissed it. And I had a few of my female friends say the same thing. Like, they didn't say, Zim, he's not your friend, but they would say, Zim, you know, there's something about him that just isn't right. Or, you know, I don't pick up positive vibes. There's something about him that just doesn't sit well. And I kind of just blew it off and ignored it. And as time went on, it was 2004. And things really started crumbling for him. I graduated from college, got my first real car, you know, got my first real adult job. He, you know, got some very bad news about his health. His 4-year relationship began to crumble. And I was still a friend to him. I would reach out to him. I would still spend time with him. I would do everything in my powers to try to like cheer him up and to aid him. And instead of him being a friend to me, and being positive and supportive, he started doing things like coming to me, telling me that other people in the community were talking about me and saying things about me that, come to find out, they never said. And back then, I had a very short leash. So whenever anybody would say anything about me, I would just go off immediately. I would send nasty emails. I would just anything vindictive I could say or I could do, I would do it. That's how I was. And he knew that. So he would trigger that by coming to me, telling me things that other people had said that they never did, you know? And on top of that, it was like, I loved him so much as a person and so much as a friend, I couldn't let go of him. Even though he was, distancing himself from me, and, he got to a point where he was drinking, 8 cocktails a night, drugging heavy, just trashing everyone's name. I stuck by him and I stood by him because in my life, everybody who's my friend, I've known since we were 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. My friends are lifelong. I've never really lost touch with people, That's why when y'all go to my MySpace page and stuff and you say, oh, Zim, you have a lot of friends. Well, these are people who I've known all my life. They didn't come into my life when the videos and the blog and everything else started. They've been there all along, So going back, he was somebody who, even though he was fairly new, I felt like he had committed himself to me and our friendship. So I felt comfortable opening myself to him. And I kept trying and holding on. And I realized after a time that by me continuing to hold on to him, when he was doing things repeatedly to rebuke our friendship and to sort of disrespect me, I realized I was blocking my blessings. And when people reach out to me now and say, well, Zim, I admire you so much, and where do you get the courage and how do you do it? Well, because I don't allow the negativity and the misery and the degradation of other people to interfere with my blessings. When there are people who I meet and greet, who every single time I'm around them, they have nothing but negative things to say about their other friends, their other associates, life in general, I don't keep those people close to me, I don't allow the negativity of other people to block my blessings. And we tend to make excuses for people in life. We tend to say, oh, well, she's always been that way. Or, oh, don't mind him, that's just how he is. No. You can't allow somebody else's negative energy to interfere with your own. Because when misery knocks at your door and you let them in through that threshold, people have a way of praying against you. So when sometimes you wonder how you didn't get that job, or why your relationship fell off, or why this, or why that, or why is my money so bad when just last week this, and this. Because sometimes we open our lives up to the wrong people, and we allow those people into our personal space. And what happens is that those people pray against us. And even though you may be a very good person, and you may be a loving individual, and you have a lot of other positive things going on for yourself, when you allow misery, when misery knocks at your door, or is tapping at your window, and you let them in through that threshold, you are letting in so much negative energy that a cloud sits above you, and it does not allow the blessings to flow in, and the positivity to trickle upon you. So in 2009, do not allow the misery of other individuals to interfere with your prosperity, with your progress, and with all the promise that God has in store for you. For me, with the road that I'm traveling, all the things that I want to happen in my future, and with all the things that currently frame my present, I'll be damned if I allow misery to knock on my door, and for me to be stupid and naive enough to open it and allow him to disturb and fester upon all that I have built, not just through my own merit, but through the prayer of my mother and my father and my lifelong friends, my family. It is a blessing to be where I am. And it is a blessing for you to be where you are.